plays the cards as a meditation, and those he plays never suspect.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got the number down. Yeah, sure. I'll call him tomorrow. No worries, okay? Trust me. Okay. Yeah. All right, listen, I gotta go. Okay, I'll call you later. Bye. Bye.
Hey Saj,
Hey man, what's up?
did I just walk in on you?
No, not really.
Do you remember your deal with teacher Will?
Of course I remember.
The inside video?
Sure.
Do you have time now?
Yeah, I've got like a few minutes until my next meeting, so why don't we have the interview right now?
Okay, great, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I was born ready, man. Give it to me.
Great. What's your name? Where are you from?
Very difficult question. My name is Saj, I'm from Iran, and I am currently living in Tehran.
Okay, what's your favorite day of the week?
My favorite day of the week would be Thursdays, because I think it's the day that I'm off and I don't have any work to do, so I can relax and enjoy the day.
Okay, do you like movies?
I'm a movie buff. I'm into movies like you would never believe.
Okay, so what's your favorite one?
Probably the people who know me know the answer to this question, and the answer is Scent of a Woman.
Mm-hmm.
That is my all-time favorite movie, and Al Pacino plays in it. And of course, he's one of my favorite actors as well. So that's the movie I like.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, my guilty pleasure is Coke. I mean, the drink. I love Coca-Cola. And I know a lot of you are gonna say that's not a guilty pleasure, but for me it is, so deal with it.
Okay, thank you. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I love flying. If I had a superpower, that would be flying for me, because I love flying and I dream a lot actually about flying. So, yeah.
Who's the one person you would like to meet?
At this moment, the one person that I would like to meet would be Donald Trump, because he's smart, intelligent, and he knows what he's doing. Even though a lot of people think he's crazy and all that, but it's just my personal opinion.
What's one place in the world that you would like to visit?
The one place in the world that I'd like to visit, that would be Bali, Indonesia. That is my dream to visit, and someday I will. And a while back, actually, I had the chance to travel there, but something came up, and I couldn't. So that would be the place.
What's the biggest misconception about you?
Wow, I love this question. I was once asked this question by teacher Will himself on a live Instagram. And right now, the biggest misconception about me is that people think because I make funny videos or I make jokes all the time on a live Instagram and all that, I am a very happy person. I don't have any problems in my life, which is not true. I think everybody has good days and bad days, and everybody deals with different problems, on a daily basis, and I am not an exception. So I try my best to make people laugh. That doesn't mean I am happy all the way.
Why do you think English is important to learn?
Well, teacher Will says English is not monolithic, which means it's for you and for me. I actually don't believe, I believe him. And I think, honest answer. I think it's all about communication, okay? Learning a language is all about communication, and English is a universal language right now. Don't want to talk about the details, but I think if you want to connect with people, And if you want to understand people, I think you need to learn English as a second language.
What tips would you give to someone to improve their English, particularly speaking?
Well, that's a question I get a lot on a daily basis through different comments and DMs on Instagram, and my answer has always been the same. First of all, I think you need to find a tutor. If you can't afford that, which is fine, there are other ways. One of them is finding a speaking partner. Okay, you can find somebody to talk to and practice your English with. Another way would be practicing with a movie. You could choose a particular part of a movie and try to use the shadowing technique, which is imitating and copying what the dialogues are about. And the last thing that I would say right now off the top of my head is to speak to yourself in front of a mirror daily if you can, spend 10 to 15 minutes. Try to talk to yourself about whatever happened to you during that day in English. I think these are 3 tips I can give at this moment.
Now I've got a tricky one for you. Ready for that?
Give it to me.
Okay, I will. Why on earth did you become a teacher?
Because I have no life. Because I am miserable and I am desperate. No, I'm joking. Well, it has a long story. And long story short, I repeat long story so many times because I'm a non-native. Joking. Basically, when I was learning English, I had an amazing teacher who inspired me to become an English teacher. Back then, I did not have any intention to become a teacher, but he kind of guided me through the process, and I can say that who I am today as a teacher, I owe him. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much the short version of it. But there is this important factor, passion. When I was learning English, I had this passion as a student, as a learner, and it stuck with me all the way until now. When I'm acting as an English teacher, I have that passion on a daily basis in all my classes with every single student that I have.
Do you have more time? Because I have a couple more questions for you.
Listen, I have to be in a meeting in a few minutes, so why don't we continue this tomorrow?
Okay, fine. See you tomorrow then.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
He doesn't play for the money he wins. He doesn't play for respect.
Hey Saj.
Hey man, what's up?
Yeah, we're back again. You ready for that?
Yeah, sure. And now I've got time, so let's just go for it.
Okay, great. Let's do it. What's the best thing you like about teaching?
Interesting. Well, the best thing that I like about teaching is the fact that I can help people. It was one of the reasons that I started teaching, being able to help people. And when I see a smile on my students' face when they learn something new, that just means the world to me.
If someone wants to be a teacher in the future, what advice would you give them?
If you want my honest response, that would be don't. Don't even try. I mean, no, I'm joking. Basically, I have a theory that has 4 P's. Okay? That's how I call it anyway. It's passion, patience, persistence, and perseverance. So if you got these 4 qualities, I'd say go for it. That's the best advice I could give you.
Great. What have you learned about yourself by being on social media?
That's a tough one. I always considered myself a patient person, but I never knew the limit. But after being on social media for a while now, almost a year, I realized I am much more patient than I thought. So I think I learned that the hard way through the comments and the DMs and the feedback and everything. So I'm happy about that.
What type of video have you always wanted to make, but you haven't had time to do it yet?
Oh man. So there's been this particular video that I've been meaning to make for a long time. It's about the teachers who claim that they teach English in just like 10 days or, I don't know, 2 weeks, which is a false claim, of course. And I wanted to call them out, you know, but I've never had actually the time to make it because I also want to do it like properly. But that's the one video I will make.
Do you have any favorite slangs or idioms?
Well, yeah, I've got like a few of them, but the one that comes to mind is whatever floats your boat or whatever helps you sleep at night. They are my favorite. Yeah.
Good ones. What does "we learn together" mean to you?
Whoa. Okay. This is an interesting one because I believe the phrase "we learn together" means that the learning process never ends. At least for me, as a non-native, whenever I go online on social media or on Instagram through my feed, every single day I learn something new. Even from a colleague who just posted a new video, or from even learners who are commenting on the posts. So the learning journey for me has never stopped. I think the idea of "we learn together" for me means you can always learn from anybody, no matter what's their race, ethnicity, color, or religion, or whatever.
How would you describe Teacher Will, of course, other than being savage sometimes?
Sometimes. That's a good one. To be honest with you, I've never liked the guy. He gets on my nerves. I'm joking. He's awesome and he knows it. Basically, he's got all those 4 Ps that I talked about, and he has this passion and patience in teaching that I haven't seen in many teachers. Plus, he has dedicated his life and time to teaching students, learners, and extended family, as he calls them, which is a very good term. And also, he's so selfless that he does everything he can without any expectation.
Mm-hmm. What does the word "insight" mean to you?
Well, insight, in my opinion, is related to inside and the within, you know. It's the way I see the world around me. It's the fact that I do not know everything and I'm not supposed to know everything. But in terms of English, I think it's pretty simple. It's to know that learning English is a skill, and every skill needs time and dedication to learn and master. So it's to know that you don't know everything about English, and improving in English is a gradual process, and it cannot happen overnight.
Okay, and last but not least, are there any last parting words of wisdom or guidance that you'd like to mention?
Well, I've never considered myself as much of a wise person, but the one thing that I always repeat is that be kind to each other. Because life's too short and who knows what the future holds. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So be kind to each other. Just that. Because we're all human beings, no matter where we're from, no matter who we are, no matter where we are from one source. And doesn't matter the race, ethnicity, color, religion, etc. None of that matters at the end of the day. So what I say is carpe diem.
Okay, Saj, that'll be all. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man, and bye-bye, everybody.
He deals a cards to find the answer, the sacred geometry of chance, the hidden law of a probable outcome. lead a dance. I know that the spades are the swords of a soldier. I know that the clubs are weapons of war. I know that diamonds mean money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart.